Okay, hey Xavier Architects, welcome back. If you're in the four-way view, let's just jump into perspective by double-clicking there. We've got our flow starter file open, and we're going to talk about the flow along surface tool. I've got my height guide here, and I've got my hex pattern here that we built, and that I built, and you can build your own if you want. That'd be kind of fun. And I'm just going to grab the circle tool and come over here somewhere and just drop in my first circle. And I'm going to click on that and type in copy, enter, and I want to make sure I turn vertical on, yes, and then point to copy from, and then click, 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 enter. All right, there's my tower, and I'm going to highlight that whole thing, and record history is going to be turned on, and I'm going to use the Loft tool and press enter, and we don't need to realign these. They're all on the end because we used a circle to build our tower, and we hit enter, and we say OK. And I'm just going to turn this on to ghosted so I can see my tower a little clearer. Okay, there we go. There we go. You'll notice that as I move around this, there's the one seam is like darker than the others. That's like my point for wrapping from that point. When we break this tower down and turn it into a surface, that is going to be an important piece of it. So yeah. So let's see. Let's now grab the surface of the tower, and we're going to use the smash tool. And remember, we could use unroll surface, but the smash tool is great for cylindrical towers. All right, so we hit smash and hit enter, and it says linear direction, natural, yes, okay, I'll take that. Select curves on the surface, we've already got those selected, and we're going to hit enter, and there we go. And there's our tower basically as a two-dimensional plane. And we're going to pull that, use this guy to bring him over here. Oops, click him, let's say something like that. And now what I want to do is I want to get rid of the hexagons that I'm not actually going to be using. Let me line this up a little bit better. Yeah, something like that maybe. Okay, so anything that's not really fully on here, I'm going to get rid of. So I'm going to highlight this, all this stuff, goodbye. I'm going to highlight this guy. Oops, I meant to try to click and drag there. These guys are out of here. These guys are out of here. Goodbye. And these guys are all out of here. This guy's gone. And I suppose I could get rid of these guys as well. Oops, not that guy. We need that guy. And then these guys over here. These guys can also go. Oops. Bang. Delete, 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 delete. Okay. So we got pretty much just our hexes where we need them on the surface. Now the idea is to wrap this around that tower. And we want that to kind of, move to that tower. So in order to do that, we've got sort of like to set a reference point for where this grid is going to snap to the actual tower. And we're going to use this bottom corner as that reference point. And we're going to use the flow along surface tool, and you'll see it light up if you type in flow in the command line. And it says select objects to flow along a surface, and I'm just going to select these guys here, and then I'm going to hold down the shift key and select these guys here. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I don't select the plane. I just want the hex pattern. And it says so select objects to flow along a surface. Press enter when done. So there we go, enter. And then base surface, select the edge near a corner. So this is the base surface, is where the pattern is right now, okay, on the 2D surface. So I'm going to zoom in here and click the corner, boom, and now it wants a target surface. Select the edge near a matching corner. So the matching corner for that little point that I just clicked on is on this side of the tower. Remember this dark line, right? So we want to get right. Come on, where'd he go? There he is. So I want to get right there, and boom, click on it, and look what happens. That pattern attaches to the tower. Beautiful. Okay, now we are going to, we probably didn't have to use the record history tool for this, so I probably would skip that step next time, because now we want to get rid of these little rings on the inside of the tower. So you're going to select those and say delete. Oops. Escape. Then delete. And it's going to give you this, oh, you broke history. Okay, that's fine. We'll break history. Make history, break history. We do it all here. And I'm selecting the curve, and then I'm deleting it and saying OK. And I'm doing that right down the whole course of this tower. So each one of these inside curves I want to get rid of. And the reason for that is because we're going to be cutting the tower. We're going to be cutting the tower with these hexagons, and we don't want to end up with a situation where the slicing that we're going to do is being done by those curves that go around the whole tower. Otherwise, it's going to cut our tower right into 5 different sections. So we want to avoid that. That's why we got rid of those curves. All right. So now I'm ready to move to the next step, which is to split. I want to cut through like a razor. I want to cut with this pattern through this surface of the tower. So I'm going to type in split, and it's going to say, what object do I want to split? And I'm going to click on the tower, and it's going to say select objects, and press enter when done. Okay, enter, and then select cutting objects. Well, now I want to select the pattern. So it's a good thing I put it on its own layer, because now we can just right click on the layer and choose select objects, and then it says press enter when done. And we say enter, and then the split command broke history, once again breaking and making history, and now we've cut it. And what we can do now is just kind of grab this, oops, not that, grab this and drag it out, and boom, we've got our skeleton, our interesting pattern of windows and hex patterns on this outside of the tower. And what's left behind is basically like the windows. Now I'm going to hide the pattern there so we can just see the difference in these two layers. Well, this is all on the same layer actually. I'm going to get rid of this. Forgot to get rid of that. I can get rid of this too. Those two curves. And what I want to do now is I want to take this and make it not three-dimensional. It is three-dimensional, but I want to make it like a solid. I want to turn it from a surface, which is just planar, into something that is more extruded. So I'm going to type in offset surface, and we'll use this tool a lot, offset surface. And you can see the direction it's trying to offset the surface in. That's a one-direction offset, and it's moving away from the center, which is good. We want to change distance here to 0.2. So 0.2, and enter. And then we want solid yes. And the rest of these, you can leave them alone. And then we hit enter. And it extrudes that and turns it into a solid surface. Right? Gives them our tower walls, an actual three-dimension structure. This would all be made out of steel. Right? And then this would be our glass windows that we could put in. So the last few steps here is just us taking these windows. or what we would probably make as windows if we were building this as a skyscraper. And we're going to go down here to the layers, and we're going to put this on the blue layer so it just stands out nicely. And now we want to move it into place. And you'll notice that this hexagon here is the same in the same position as this hexagon here. So I'm going to use the move tool. And remember, we want to lock it into the middle of this. This is where we want to move the windows, to the middle of this. Not to the back, not to the front, but to the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this. I'm going to highlight this the window layer. I say select objects, and then I'm going to say move in my move command. Enter, and then it's saying point to move from. So I'm going to click on the corner of that. Boom, and then point to move to. And I'm going to come in here and zoom a little bit. See how I'm in the middle of that point there? Perfect. Bang. Lock that in. And then zoom out. Take a look. And you've got yourself a pretty cool tower. And let me just move this over here. And we can take a little tour around it. Hey, yeah, look at that. Oh, wow. Check it out. Got a cool tower. Neat. Oh, keen. And that one actually turned out quite nicely. So practice does make perfect. The more of these you do, the more practice you get, the better you'll be at doing them. And I'd love to see you guys produce your own. And I'll be looking for that as homework. Good job. Have fun. Keep building. Peace.